Tell everybody. Listen to me, Hatcher. You gotta tell them Soylent Green is people!
Soylent Green is a 1973 mystery crime science fiction film directed by Richard Fleischer that shows a nightmarish future. In the futuristic year of 2022, the world is suffering from pollution and overpopulation, creating worldwide shortages of water, food, and housing. New York City has a population of 40 million people, but only wealthy elites can afford nice apartments, clean water, and natural food in communities walled off from the outside world and protected by armed guards. The majority of people live in lower-class squalor, eating a highly processed wafer made by a single large food processing firm called the Soylent Corporation. The wafers, Soylent Red and Soylent Yellow, are a common staple, but the latest product, Soylent Green, is a more nutritious and tasty wafer made from plankton.
Soylent Green, the miracle food of high-energy plankton gathered from the oceans of the world. Because of its enormous popularity, Soylent Green is in short supply. Remember, Tuesday is Soylent Green Day.
New York City police officer Robert Thorne, played by Charlton Heston, lives in a small apartment with his older friend Saul Roth, played by Edward G. Robinson. Roth, a former college professor and New York City police researcher, often laments his frustrations about the current world and reminisces about the good old days of fresh food and meat.
Why, in my day, you could buy meat anywhere. Eggs they had, real butter. Fresh lettuce in the stores.
I know, Saul. You told me before.
How can anything survive in a climate like this?
Thorne is called to investigate the murder of a wealthy board member of the Soylent Corporation. With the help of the victim's concubine, Cheryl, played by Leigh Taylor Young, and a priest played by Lincoln Gilpatrick, whom heard the victim's confession shortly before the murder, Thorne begins to suspect that the man may have been assassinated.
The truth Simonson told you?
All truth.
What is it? What did he confess?
Sweet Jesus.
When the governor of New York, Henry Santini, played by Whit Bissell, gives direction to the New York City Police Department to end the investigation, Thorne becomes even more convinced of a political cover-up, and his investigation leads him to shocking revelations regarding the Soylent Corporation.
A member of the board of directors of the Soylent Corporation was torn apart with a meat hook. You can't sweep that carcass under the rug. Who bought you?
This movie was based on Harry Harrison's 1966 novel Make Room, Make Room, which was set in the year 1999. In the novel, the word Soylent is supposed to suggest soybeans and lentils. The Soylent Green manufacturing facility is actually the Chevron oil refinery and power plant in El Segundo, California. Knowing that he was dying, Charlton Heston brought Edward G. Robinson a variety of wines and cheeses from all over the world each day that Robinson was on set for his scenes. All of his scenes were shot first, and Robinson died at age 79 on January 26, 1973, about 3 to 4 months before the film's release.
I haven't eaten like this in years.
I never ate like this.
And now you know what you've been missing. As the world wants you, punk.
Yeah, so you keep telling me.
Well, I was there. I can prove it.
Leigh Taylor Young and Stephen Young were the only stars of this movie who lived to see the real 2022. According to his City of New York Police Department ID card, Detective Thorne was born October 24, 1980, making him 41 years old in 2022. The movie predicted that New York City would have a population of 40 million people by the year 2022. In reality, New York City's population would be less than half of that, being around 18 million. The movie did predict that many would be wearing masks in the year 2022, and after the COVID-19 pandemic, many people were. Coming out in movie theaters around April 1973, Soylent Green grossed $3.6 million. While far from a high-grossing hit, it attracted word of mouth and became rather iconic as time went by. I've seen this film a few times, and I find it impressive and entertaining, despite the dystopian view. Unlike many other films in this genre, this one ends with perhaps a slight glimmer of hope that Thorne will survive and the public will find out the truth.
You gotta tell him. You gotta tell him.
Promise, Tiger, I promise. I'll tell the exchange.
You tell everybody. Listen to me, Hatcher. You gotta tell him Soylent Green is people! We've gotta stop him somehow!
Overall, if you're in the mood for a science fiction mystery film, I recommend Soylent Green.